In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapila has explained a very important point. Prasangam ajaram pasham atmanah kavayo vidu. Sa eva sadhu shokrito mokshadwaram apavritam. He is explaining that for those who have taken birth in this material world, who are under the modes of material nature, one of the greatest impediments in spiritual life is material attachment. Attachment to family, attachment to wife, children, attachment to home, property, name, fame. These are strong attachments. The same attachment, if it is dovetailed towards a pure devotee, then that opens the doors for liberation. So I would like to begin today's discussion, the glories of our divine spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, with this prayer in my heart that let us all strive to develop this strong attachment towards his wonderful personality, towards his qualities, towards the great example that he has set, towards the love that he keeps showering upon all of us. Kapila Dev has said it is ajaram pasham. It is the deadly noose of a serpent. It's very powerful. So we require a nectarian personality, an Amrit-like personality to pull us out of that noose and take us back home, back to Krishna. For devotees, all of us are in the Grihastha ashram. It is very important that we organize such meetings. For those who have had association, direct or indirect association of their spiritual master, it is their prime duty to share their realizations, to share the love that they have personally received with all the younger God brothers and God sisters and everyone who is aspiring to take shelter at the lotus feet of our Gurudev. Just so that the teachings that our spiritual master is trying to spread in the human society can actually be also felt, and the sweetness of Krishna consciousness can also be experienced. One of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, a dear god brother of our Guru Maharaj, His Grace Soma Prabhu, he was with us in Radha Gopinath temple a few years ago. And he was recalling his first visit to New Vrindavan. And he explained that I was a new bhakta. I had come from Boston, from a big city. And I had been told to go to New Vrindavan and render some service there. And I had heard a lot about New Vrindavan. If anyone of you have heard about the New Vrindavan days, how austere and how difficult it was. So he was a little nervous, but he was explaining that 4 decades later, I have still not forgotten the way one brahmachari had showered so much of love and care upon me. And who was that brahmachari? None other than our beloved Guru Maharaj, Radhanath brahmachari. He was recalling the way Maharaj was treating him like a little baby. Maharaj was saying, you have come from a big city, things are not very convenient here. So I want to make sure. So every day Maharaj would make sure that he had prasadam on time, he had a good place to rest, and he was taken care of. And he could not forget that. This is Krishna consciousness. And in those days, Radhanath Maharaj was a completely unassuming personality. No one even knew who was Radhanath, Brahmachari. So this is what he has taught us from his example, from his teachings, from his life, from his words. And this is what we all should also try to very deeply imbibe in our lives, that the essence of Radhanath Swami's heart is love and affection. One time, one devotee went to Radhanath Maharaj and said, Maharaj, do you have a personal instruction for me? Maharaj looked into his eyes and in 2 words he gave the personal instruction. He said, love devotees. That's all. If you love devotees, you are personally serving me. So we would like to thank the organizers also for...
Yes, I would like to thank Kumari Daya Mataji and Mahalakshmi Mataji for inviting us here. Although we are not qualified, but you have given us the opportunity to glorify our dear Gurudev. So as Prabhu was saying about Soma Prabhu, how Maharaj took care of him. In those days, even though he was a brahmachari, he took such nice care. So I was just remembering how in New Vrindavan, even when he was a world acharya, now, once a group of devotees from Chicago were arriving in New Vrindavan. And they were just new aspiring devotees. They had just started coming. They were not any Prabhupada disciples or any person we would give so much importance to. We would go ahead and then. But they were coming and he was informed about it. So he saw me and he told me, do you know that this group of devotees is coming? And I said, yes, Maharaj. He said, do you have arrangements of their stay and prasadam? Do you know if everything is arranged? So I said, Maharaj, the breakfast prasadam was already over and now they're preparing a fresh batch of prasadam for these people. I said, what about their stay? And I said, I named the person who was taking care of their stay. So when they arrived, Maharaj was not there at that time. But when they were sitting in the hall, Maharaj came there and then immediately he asked me, have they had their prasad? So I said, Maharaj, offering is taking place and they will just have. Oh, Maharaj, as if feeling their anxiety, he was like, oh, they have come for such a long travel and they have driven and they must be really tired. Then he told me to go and check if the offering was done. So I went inside quickly and said offering was done. So then we made everybody sit and he sat through the whole thing to make sure everybody was fed nicely, everybody was taken care of. And so this shows his love, his attention to details. He always says that attention to details is a sign of love. So he was expressing this in his actions. Also when in Seattle, once Mother Janki was coming to see him. So at that time he was informed that she's coming and we both were assisting Maharaj in services at that time. So Maharaj came and he told us how she's on a wheelchair, unable to walk properly. So her bed should be arranged on the ground floor. And then he said that ask about her diet. She's on a diet, cook according to her diet, make sure that she's getting her medicines properly, and make sure that you are with her at all times to see that whatever she needs. And he had given all detailed instructions. Somebody should go ahead and welcome her on the road. All these instructions he had given to myself and Prabhu and couple others who were assisting. And so we had all started arranging things. So when we started arranging Mother Janki's bed, Maharaj came from upstairs, and when he saw we were arranging, we were just about to start doing things. He immediately came very enthusiastically and he started doing all the bed sheet, and we felt like we are unable to do. And we started trying to help, and he was so fast. He started quickly tucking the bed sheet inside and from all sides, and then quickly asked for where the garland is. And then as soon as they called that she's 5 minutes away, he went to the road and he stood there to welcome her. And when she came, along with her helper, he assisted her on her wheelchair, and then he personally started taking her around on the wheelchair. They brought her in, then all around the house. It was a big house. He was taking her everywhere. He took her to the altar to take darshan. Then he took her where and the prasadam was. Then when she sat down somewhere on a sofa, Maharaj immediately sat down underneath, down near her feet. So she felt so embarrassed. She said, "No, Maharaj, please sit up." But that was his mood, that I am the servant, no matter who it is. That is his mood, that, service is the way you express your love.
So I've been told we should share some of our personal exchanges also. So we will surely share, and as some other pastimes come to my heart, I will keep bringing them in also. As Siddheshwari was pointing about Maharaj's this personal touch that he always has when it comes to serving devotees. One time, Naveen and Neeraj Prabhu was sharing a realization that he was in Mayapur and he wanted to talk to Radhanath Maharaj. He wanted to ask a question. He had heard so much about Maharaj that Maharaj is such an expert. He's so systematic when it comes to doing anything in Krishna consciousness. Everything is so perfect, and so many devotees all over the world, and especially in Chowpatty, and such scholarly devotees from IIT have joined, and there are so many Vaishnavas and so many senior personalities who are so much dedicated to Radhanath Maharaj. So he just wanted to ask a question. How do you do it, Maharaj? What is your strategy? So he was sitting, and one person was going to come and see Maharaj. And he met, there was a quick meeting, and Maharaj, then he left. So Naveen and Neeraj Prabhu, he asked a question. So Maharaj, what is your strategy for this devotee? So Maharaj looked at him and said, strategies are for projects. When it comes to devotees, I only deal from my heart. So this is how actually he does. And there have been many, many beautiful exchanges that I still am not able to understand how I was chosen to be in that particular association, close association of such a magnanimous personality. So I would like to share one beautiful pastime with Maharaj. He had given a wonderful class, a Sunday program had finished, and this was many times used to happen that when Maharaj would finish a long Sunday evening program, and then after having his prasadam and everything, he would come and sit with the brahmacharis in the backside in the ashram. It was a very informal setup, just like Krishna would come and just sit with his friends wherever they found a place. So Maharaj jump on the lockers, and we would all surround him. Some would be sitting, some would be just standing, and Maharaj was just so beautifully relaxing on the locker. And someone had donated some chikkus, so Maharaj told them cut the chikkus and get them ready after the program. Then he was distributing chikkus to all the brahmacharis. It was very sweet. Of course, the chikku itself, but when you receive it from Radhanath Maharaj's hands, it is the chikku from Golok Vrindavan. So he was distributing and everyone was enjoying. And then Maharaj said something very profound. He said, you have the best philosophy, you have the best association, and you have the greatest shelter. The best philosophy, undoubtedly, what Prabhupada has given us, Krishna consciousness is the best. The best association that Maharaj has arranged for all of us. What can we compare to that? And the greatest shelter of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath that he has given us. And then Maharaj paused and he made a very profound statement. He said, be grateful and you will realize this. And we all really were so touched by that statement, that how important it is to develop this attitude of gratitude. We may have so many gifts around us in Krishna consciousness, but still if we are not feeling anything, if we are not really understanding the glory and the greatness of it, we should try to introspect and understand that this is probably why this attitude of gratitude is probably not enough in my heart. And Maharaj, in most of his talks, in most of his exchanges, he has taught us. We all have read in the Journey Home book how his mother, Idle Slevin, right from a very childhood, she would always say that don't look at the value of what they have given, but see the thought behind it and express your gratitude. Have you said thank you? So this was how Maharaj was brought up. These beautiful qualities of gratitude and love. How much love he would shower upon the brahmacharis. I remember once he was leaving, and those were the most difficult days for us when Maharaj would be going to America for 6 months and we didn't have his personal association. So I was sitting in his room and I was packing up his things. And Maharaj, he came quickly, he had gone to the shower, he came back and he would call me Swaroop, like that. He would many times just, with love, he would call me, why are you sad? And I was obviously, not saying much. So he's changing. He's quickly changing there. I'm in his room. And he took a towel and he removed his dhoti and he threw it on my face like this. And then he started laughing. He said that, you can have this. And I was in tears. I was so happy that he knew that his son was sad. His son was really feeling so emotional that the father was leaving. So just wanted to make me happy. There's one more beautiful incident that was shared by another God brother, Siddheshwari, Prabhu, I think his name was. He's writing in his memoirs that once Maharaj was leaving for Mayapur, and as Maharaj leaves the temple, you can see there are hundreds of devotees who are there to bid him farewell. And every time he goes, every time he comes, there are hundreds of devotees who come and wish him. So he was also standing somewhere in the corner. And Maharaj was looking at everybody, he was smiling. And then he looked at him and he called him in the front. He said, come. And he came. And then Maharaj held his hand and said, it will be really difficult for me to give my Srimad Bhagavatam class without you sitting in front of me. And this devotee was literally in tears. And he thought in his heart, how much more sweet can a leader be? So many hundreds of devotees here. I am just an insignificant soul. But he has noticed that I always sit in front. This was what he really liked about that Vaishnav, that he always sat in front and would eagerly laugh and eagerly, hear his classes. So just see the personal reciprocation. So many are there. Now ask Siddheshwari also to share some sweet memories.
There are so many examples where we have seen that Maharaj definitely knows the heart of his disciples. Like when we were initiated, we girls were there from Pune, and we had gone to Bombay for a program, and Maharaj was talking to one Mataji, and we were just newly initiated, and we were looking at this Mataji, and we were discussing amongst ourselves that, oh, so fortunate, Maharaj knows her so well. We don't know if he actually knows us, any of us, and especially after our initiation. So we were four of us, and then after that Mataji finished her conversation, she left, and then Maharaj told us to come inside, and we went in, and then he asked us some question, and then he said, "What do you feel?" So he asked one of the girls, we were girls at that time, he said, "So Janki, what do you feel?" So others were thinking, at least he knows Janki's name. Then he said to the next person, "So Niladri, what do you feel?" And then she answered something. Then he looked at me, he said, "So Siddheshwari, what do you feel?" So I said something. And then Mahalakshmi was thinking, at least he knows all of them, maybe he doesn't remember me. And then he says, "So Mahalakshmi, what do you feel?" So it was like we were newly initiated, and we were thinking that he has initiated so many people, but he probably doesn't remember the name or doesn't know who they are. And so he was reading our hearts. Another example is that when he came to Dubai, uh, one day I got the opportunity to cook for him. And so I was in the kitchen arranging everything for his prasad. And then he was outside in the hall. So there, after he had his prasad, I was taking all the remnants inside, all the plates and everything. So I was near the kitchen door. So Maharaj could not see me. So the Mataji, who was the host, she said, "Maharaj, your disciple Siddheshwari has cooked today for you." So Maharaj said, "I know." And he had not seen me in this whole exchange where I was serving and all. He was in another side, and he had not seen me arranging things. And another very, very beautiful pastime that is very dear to my heart, I would like to share with you. This happened, I think, way back in 94 or 95. At that time, we were very fortunate that Maharaj used to give us a lot of time to share our thoughts, and we were able to uh, express so many things to him. Quite many foolish things also we expressed, but he was very tolerant and patient with us. So one such time I told him, "Maharaj, I want to speak to you." So he said, "I am just finishing something, you go and wait in my room." So I went there, and it's what his room presently is. There was a big terrace outside at that time, and his shoes were kept outside his room. So I kept looking at the shoes, and I thought, should I touch or should I not touch? So I looked everywhere and saw nobody was watching. Of course, Radha Gopinath were watching, but then personally, physically, nobody was there. So I quickly touched the shoes. I wiped it with my sari and collected the dust, poured on my head, tried to sprinkle some in my sari, tie a knot, whatever I could do. And then I kept them where they were. I went and sat inside the room. And after some time, he came, and then I was telling him all the silly things about things happening in my life and what I think and this, and he was patiently listening. Then I was grumbling a little also, and I said that, "Maharaj, it is not fair that Prabhujis get so much of your close association and Matajis don't." So at that time in Radha Gopinath, towards the front, Prabhujis used to be towards the front in the kirtan, and all Matajis used to be towards the back side. So many times when Maharaj would be dancing, all the Prabhujis would cover him up, and Matajis could not see anything at all. So we used to feel so bad. Ki this is unfair, why we are not getting any of this. And then many times people used to Prabhuji used to easily go and touch his feet, and we used to think, oh, so fortunate. So I told him all that. I said they can touch your feet, and they receive your embrace, and they get to see you in dancing kirtan, and we don't get anything, and we don't even get the dust of your lotus feet. So he became quiet, and he kept looking straight in my eyes. For seemed like years he was just watching me for a long time, and I wasn't sure what I had said, what my offense was. And then he said, are you sure Matajis don't get the dust? And then he laughed, like, you know how he laughs. He went up and down laughing. And I said, Maharaj, sometimes by some trickery or some, we have to use some brains to get it somehow or the other. And again, he started laughing. So this pastime is very dear to my heart, revealing to me at that time that spiritual master knows my heart. I cannot trick him in any way, or, so.
Talking about his remembrance, his memory, there's a very sweet exchange with my dear mother-in-law, Siddheshwari's mother, Vijayalakshmi. She's a very sweet, simple-hearted lady, and every time she would meet Maharaj, she would say, Maharaj, I'm Siddheshwari's mother. Like she had said that.
Not her, actually. Various people took her to introduce to Maharaj. Because people like to talk to Maharaj, so they'll take somebody to introduce. So 4 or 5 people took him to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, she's Siddheshwari's mother. Then next time somebody else takes Maharaj, she's Siddheshwari's mother. So happened like 4 or 5 times like that.
So once she came, she was folding hands and she was saying, so Maharaj said, I know you are Siddheshwari's mother. That was his very sweet
and even when he met me in US, and he said, I know your mother. They have introduced me to her so many times, so I know who your mother is.
Talking about taking dust from Maharaj's lotus feet. I remember one incident, and I really miss those days. Maharaj, I was sitting and I was arranging, I used to type his letters, and I was just making sure that all the letters that he had asked me to type and they were all in order. And I was just going through them, and I was sitting with on my knees like this, knees folded, and my feet were visible in the backside. He came inside the room, and he just, like a little mischievous boy, he just jumped to my feet and he touched like this, and Hari Hari, like that he shouted. Now, obviously, I'm sure any one of you, if you happen to be in that situation, what you would do. I thought this is the golden opportunity of my life. I just left everything. I grabbed his feet and I rubbed my head on his feet like this. And he was like, Maharaj was laughing like this, like anything. And then when I got up, like when I was so happy. And I was so, of course, I was very, very embarrassed that he did something like that. But I was so happy to see the shower. And he just tucked me to his thighs and he was saying, Swaroop, I love you. And then he started going through the letters. And there was a letter that he had written to Swaroop Prabhu, and he was so meticulous. He could not accept even a small mistake. He wanted everything perfect. So if I had forgotten to put a full stop or something, he would just throw the letter on me. Where's the full stop? Like that. And he would laugh. So there was a letter to Vishwaroop Prabhu, and somehow I accidentally typed Vizwaroop, like V-I-Z. So he's saying, Vizwaroop, you are from Russia? Are you from Russia? He started laughing. So what I'm trying to tell you is that he he's such a great personality, he's so much absorbed in Krishna all the time. But these little details of love, see, what is love? Love is not a very great thing, but love is a million small things. And this we see in Radhanath Maharaj so much. Every time we meet him, even if it is a little boy, a little small boy meeting him, he will leave that loving touch on the heart.